You have heard every rule about slow eccentrics, that lowering down, perfect rep timing. None of it matters until you understand the real driver of muscle growth. Today I break that down so you can stop wasting time, effort, energy on these. Just the truth on exercise. It's Driven for Health time. We are closing out the strength pyramid today. This is the sixth and final installment. If you have been following along in this series, you now have the full blueprint for how muscle and strength training really works. Not the influencer things, as we just mentioned, the actual true principles, science-backed information, studies that show how to move the bar and move your body forward in building strength. This last layer is the least important. That's why it's at the top of the pyramid. Yet, it causes the most confusion for lifters, whether they're novice, even advanced lifters. It's tempo. How fast you lift, how controlled you lower, and all those small details many men fixate on at the gym before they understand the basics is what we want to get away from. Today we clear all that up. We want you to stop wasting time on things that don't actually help you grow and start focusing on what will. Now, before we get started, I just want to throw this out. If you're unclear on where to start, or what habits you should be paying attention to, or what should I be eating, I have a 30 tips in 30 days email series that I'd love to have you on. It's super simple, easy, actionable tips designed for busy guys with busy lives, with careers, families, and all that. You literally read the email and think, wow, I can do this today. Take action on it. That's what matters regardless. The information is everywhere. The implementation is the hard thing. Nutrition, fitness, overall healthy lifestyle. You'll learn how to eat smarter, move better, build small daily routines that actually last. Just clear steps that can put you to work in the right direction, the right way. Straight away. Join for free at go.brianprana.com/30 days. That's 30 days. I'll send this into the show notes for you as well. It's for you to start building a healthier, happier, more confident version of yourself today. Now let's get into it and recap the foundation. I want to make sure all of this lands, all this makes sense, and we wrap up in the right way. Here's a quick recap of the entire strength pyramid. The priority is the bottom up, adherence. If you cannot stick to the plan, nothing else matters. Consistency beats perfect programming every day of the week. That alone will put you ahead of most gym goers ever. Volume, intensity, frequency. These big three, BIF, VIF, total volume drives growth. As long as you can recover, you can't bury yourself with tons of volume. Intensity has to match the goal. If you're a novice, you can't go super intense. If you're an advanced lifter, you can go way more intense in time, duration, and load. And heavier loads build strength, right? Lifting heavier, you'll get stronger. Frequency helps you organize the work so your body can handle the training and your schedule can handle everything else. The third one, which was episode 17, was adherence. 18 was volume, intensity, frequency. Number 19 was progression. Your training needs to move forward over time, not over every single workout, not every single week necessary, but over the arc of your training or your periodization cycle. We have stronger movements, more reps, more sets, better performance. Progression is really going to thread the needle here and make sure that you move forward. Then we have episode 20. Yep, was exercise selection. And in that one, specificity matters. Not in a way that locks you into just doing one movement, but you need compound lifts, smart accessory work threaded in there. You need variation, and you want to learn the lifts well enough that your skill isn't the thing that's holding you back. Your technique isn't the thing that's holding you back. And episode 22, rest periods. This is where a lot of people cut the corners. Too little rest actually kills your performance in the gym and potentially increases your recovery. You end up doing less total volume, less weight, less reps if you don't allow proper rest. You say save time in the gym workout, but you might be walking away without the gains, with a Z, gains, that you would have had if you would have taken an extra 10 minutes and just rested a little bit more. That brings us to today. Tempo. Tempo is the speed of your reps. Up, down, back up. It's simple, but people turn this into a complicated mess. Tempo has gotten a lot of attention because of the ideas of time under tension. TUT is usually it's abbreviated. This theory shows and says that if you slow down the rep, you get more growth. It sounds good, and we need to break this down a little bit and separate the truth from where things get a little confused. And yes, if you do eccentric range of accentuated movements, you will get sore. You're stretching the muscle out, and that can help with muscle growth, but it may or may not be the divisive action that you need. For strength, tempo is pretty straightforward. Heavy loads move slowly. There's no trick. The load actually dictates the speed. If you watch a heavy squat or a deadlift, the bar speed is really slow because it's close to the limit, and that's completely normal and reasonable. That's how strength works. You still control the lowering phase, but the load determines the speed on the way up. It's just what it is. Where tempo gets confusing with hypertrophy, muscle building. On the muscle building side, most ideas come around slow eccentrics, come from lab studies where people can overload the lowering phase of the motion by using machines that allow heavier weights on the way down. Here's the problem. It doesn't really match real gym training because you cannot safely use a heavier load than you can lift concentrically. Think of a bicep curl. At the bottom, your arms are straight. You're curling up. That's the concentric. That's the squeezing of the muscle. And the eccentric is the lowering, and you're resisting. Now, you can do, say, cheetah reps where you use your hips and you swing the bar up to get to the top and slowly lower down. That could work. But say, for example, a bench press. You slowly lower down and you get stuck because you can't get the bar back up. You might need a spotter. That is one way to be able to afford that. But here's the studies where there's that complication of what's done in a lab versus done in a real gym. You cannot lower more than you can lift on a barbell bench press, on a squat, right? Go really slow down. I guess you could just slowly lower down and set the bar down and then either have people help support it, lift you back up, or you put the bar down on safety rack and take some weight off and then lift it back up. The lab study doesn't directly apply to gym settings. Another common idea is that slowing the eccentric down creates more time under tension, but that ignores the magnitude of the tension created. The amount of force matters more than dragging the rep out. I mean, if you can say on that lowering of the bicep curl, if you can keep the tension really high, then that's going to matter a lot more than how long it takes to lower. Think of it as, okay, I have 25 pounds on each side of the easy curl bar. I curl it up and I slowly lower down. I'm resisting gravity. Whereas if I took an empty bar and had my friend pull down and I fight on that eccentric lowering phase, that's where the force is going to magnify. You're going to get a lot more out of that type of time under tension than if you just fought gravity. That's the magnitude of tension and why force matters. Walking has plenty of time under tension, but it doesn't grow your quads. Sprinting creates huge force and production to accelerate your body in a short window of time, and that stimulates growth. Doing hill repeats, sprinting on a bike is going to grow your quads and your calves more than just riding for 50 miles. But going up, I've had some pretty intense bike workouts where we've done hill repeats, and holy Lord, you work hard. You're up out of saddle, just pushing and pulling on the bike. I loved it. It was so much fun. Going downhill, though, I was always a little more reserved. Some guys would bomb down these hills with turning corners and stuff. I could not muster the fearlessness that they had to do that. I was always afraid of the death wobbles. If you've ridden a bike at a fast speed, say 40 plus mile an hour, you know what those are. The wheel starts to wobble no matter how tight or hard you're holding it. Not something I want to experience going downhill. And with potential curve or the roadway not being great. Now, back to the lifting. So time matters. Force matters more than the time under tension. They create what is called an impulse. Force multiplied by time. That's the real driver. Studies show that lifts with heavier loads, moved with normal controlled speeds, they create more impulse and better growth than lighter loads done slowly. Another study looked at slowing down the eccentric to 4 seconds. Well, what happened in the study? People lifted less weight and did less total work. The volume piece, guys, that's where it goes back to. The slow lowering made them tired before they even pushed the bar back up, which created less load, less volume, less stimulus. Super slow training has also been tested many times, and nearly every time normal controlled tempo beats it for both strength and size. There used to be a gym, remember, a super slow zone, I believe it was called. And you'd go in and you wouldn't sweat. You just had this time under tension and then you left. But it was 15 minutes and it didn't stick around long. What do you and should you actually do then? Let's keep this simple. For real world recommendations, you should do these practical guidelines. Control the eccentric, of course. Don't let gravity just drop the weight down. Stay in control, slowly lower. Say curl up 1 or 2 count and maybe 2 to 3 count on the way down. Perfectly great tempo. That's great for hypertrophy. Drive the concentric with intention. Really squeeze and push hard on, as far as the concentric of bench pressing is the pushing up. The concentric of pulling is the pulling the weight toward you. We want that to be really strong, not throwing the weight, but really focus on intention, force with good form. Don't slow down the rep unnecessarily. Don't drag it out an extra 3 seconds in a sense. Again, the total volume of work done lessens because you get fatigue rather than strength. Use natural controlled rhythm. Most strong lifters land right around 1 to 3 seconds concentric, and then also similar on the eccentric. A really natural rep range is doing 1 to 2 count on the concentric, and then 2 to 3 on the eccentric. Sometimes there's a pause at the top and at the bottom for 1 count as well. And when you see tempo right now, it'll say something like 4, 1, 2, 1. That would mean 4 counts lowering, 1 count pause, 2 counts up for a bench press, and then 1 count at the top. That would be the tempo. And usually it's done in 4 digits if you're having a very specific exercise routine created for you. For pretty much anyone listening to this podcast, we're not that into the weeds. This is not, say, bodybuilder.com. This is, I need to figure out how to maintain my healthy lifestyle, a fit, healthy body for my day-to-day work responsibilities, job responsibilities, so I can thrive in everyday life. That's what this whole thing's about. As we close out, hopefully this is a really good peek to the top of it. We're closing out the strength pyramid. All 6 layers give you everything you need to start building muscle strength the right way. Built on principles that actually work for busy guys who want results they can keep. If you missed the earlier episodes, go back and listen to them. Adherence is on episode 17, and it goes to 18, 19, 20, and 22 are the episodes, and this being 23. Moving into our Fast 5, I love this portion, just fun, light, related to the topic at hand usually, but quick and easy questions that I get asked all the time and help clear it up for you guys. Question number 1. What is the biggest mistake most men make with tempo in the gym? We talked about it. They're slowing down the reps so much. They're actually losing productivity and strength and power output and total volume in the workouts, as we just talked about it. You get tired, and it ultimately steals away the amount of load, the volume, the force that you can create. And number 2, what tempo do you use in your own training right now? Well, for me, I'm usually doing a natural controlled pace. I'm not throwing the weights up, and I'm not just letting them fall down. 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down, something like that. 1, 2, and then slowly lowering 1, 2. Controlled, I like that 8 to 12 rep range. Occasionally I'll do 15 if I feel like I can with the weight, just to get a couple extra reps. I might even do 16, or I might do 11 or 12 or 13, just depending on the actual weight and the set, just to get a lot in there. Number 3, what is one tempo myth you want men to stop believing? The idea that the slow eccentrics are automatically going to build more muscle. As we talked about it, it just isn't true. Question 4, what lift does tempo matter most for in your experience? Most men tempo matters most for movements where form breaks down easy. Row, curls, lateral raises, right? If you throw your arms out straight to the side and lateral raise, that's a hard movement. That's really long levers, and it's not a strong muscle. It's easy to just let the weights fall. And then you're really throwing the weights up, but not getting 50% of the effort and results from it. Question number 5. What is your favorite strength workout to run when life gets busy? For me, the basic one is going to be push-ups, sit-ups, squats, 20-minute time frame. I'm doing 10 reps each. So 10 push-ups, 10 squats, 10 sit-ups on repeat for 20 minutes. That's going to give me a slam dunk workout. I'd tell you to do it too. Speaking of a fun workout, I wanted to read a testimony from Zach. You may have remember him from episode 10. And he had stepped out of his workout routine before he joined the Call to Rise 100-Day Fat Loss Challenge. And as soon as we got in there, he stepped into it and stepped up. And this is what he said. Before joining the Call to Rise, I wanted to get stronger, but my days were slammed with work, kids, travel. I kept missing workouts because nothing fit my schedule. Coach Ryan built a plan that worked around my life and still pushed me. Didn't matter if I was on Long Island or in New York City or in Vegas traveling for work, I was able to keep up pace. The workout that really changed everything for me was the 190-80. It was a simple sequence that hit every muscle group, burned lots of calories, and forced me to push myself. It carried over into the rest of my day. I loved to do it in the morning, especially on days I traveled, because I knew if I got that done, I could do anything else in the day. And that's where it showed up in my energy, confidence, in those other areas of life. I started getting stronger, dropped fat. He actually dropped 30 some pounds from 225 to 28 to 197. And he feels in control again. If you're a busy man who wants real strength and structure, the call to rise is one to join. The final layer of the strength pyramid is done. Wrapping this up, if you made it through the full series, I congratulate you. Please email me, message, comment on the posts. I do see them all the time. And let me know where I can help you more. I'm always looking for more ideas or help people in their exercise routines and give them more specific answers for that. So please engage. Tempo has its place, but is not the driver of your results. Adherence is. Got to show up and do the work in the first place. Controlling the lowering, pushing the concentric with force, effort, energy, and intent. Keep your eyes on the bigger principles that change your body. That's how you build real strength over time that changes your body physically and emotionally. Well, thank you for listening. I appreciate you being here, putting in the work, and our next episode is going to be talking about some really good ultimate guide to burning fat. Some really key tips. We'll get back to fat burning and nutrition and putting it together. Looking forward to that.